we are going to use get, post, put, delete. So we want header. Now the commonly used methods get, post, put, delete, header. Now listen to the point. What is a get? What is a post? Look at the format. Type of method. Now I have a VF page. Some page I have. Here I am giving your hall ticket number. When you enter the hall ticket number, then we have it is like some third-party application. Manabadi.com. When you enter the hall ticket number, it is going to give your SSC results. Now your SSC results are available in some third-party system. So we have a table here. Hall ticket number, status, pass or fail. So we have some data we have 001. So we have some data. Now what is this? This is my government server. Some government server. Now I enter my result here. I enter my hall ticket 001. I'm clicking on request. Now what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to insert the data. I'm trying to fetch the data. Now you are making a request to the server, and the data which is in the server, you are requesting the data which is in the server. When I click on the search, it will go to the server, find the data for 001, return the result. So what you are trying to do was, you are trying to retrieve the data which is in the server, requesting for some data in the server. Then what type of request is this? Get request. If you are trying to get the data, if you are trying to get the resource which is in the server, then it is called get method. Now in the Salesforce, when you log in, you are clicking here. I open this. Now what is this? I am requesting for the page. This is available on the server. Now when I click on this, the following page is retrieved from the server. What did I make? Get method. I retrieve the data. I am requesting for the data. If you are requesting for the data from the server, that is called as what? Get method. Where is a get method? Where is a get method? Listen to the point. When your request is a get method, then your request message will be like this. Your request message will be get some let us have accept. Right, that's all. It is not having any body. It is not having any body. When you are making a request called get, if you are requesting for any data from the server, request will not have any body. It will have only header. Whenever the method is a get method, if the method type is a get method, it will not have any body. It will only have header. I told you in the message, body is always an optional. It's not necessary that you have to provide the body. So if you are going with a get method, body is not available. Only header is there. But I have a problem here. What is the problem? I have to send my hall ticket number. Otherwise, how do they find out my result? Unless I send my hall ticket number, they will not find my result. Am I right? So if I want to send my hall ticket number, what should I do? You don't have any body. As you don't have the body, how do I send my request now? It doesn't have any body. As you don't have the body, how can you send your data? If I want to send my hall ticket number in the request, how do you send it? It is sent using URL. It is sent using what? URL. Hall ticket number. Are you getting my point? If anybody is making a get method, in the message there will be no body. When do you go for a get method? When you are trying to retrieve the data from the server. When you are requesting the resource which is in the server, you are not making any changes on the database. You are not making any changes on the database. You are trying to retrieve the data from the database. There is a get method. If it is a get method, there will be no body. Then if there is no body, how do you send the requested data? By using what? So what is the method type here? Get method. I hope you got my point. Am I clear with this? When do you use get? When you are trying to retrieve the transaction which doesn't make any changes on the database. Any transaction which doesn't make any changes on the database, we can go with the get method. Any transaction that doesn't make changes on the database, it will go with the get method. I hope you are clear. The next format. When do I go for next one? My next request. Here I have student name, marks. So what you are doing? You are trying to register the student. You are trying to register the student. In this case, this is a registration form where I am allowing the student to register. I am allowing the student to register. I gave. Click on save. Then the request is coming here, creating a data here. So pass, then it's giving a response. Success. Registration success. So what are you trying to do now? You are trying to manipulate the data in the database. Because of your transaction in the server, the data in the server is getting modified. You are posting the data into server. Now what are you doing? You are making a changes on the database of the server. When you are trying to make the changes on the database of the server, then the request is going to be what? Post request. So post, when you want to put the data on the server, when you want to put the data on the server, what type of request is this? Post request. When you say it is a post request, my message will be like this. My HTTP message is going to be header. The header is says post register. Let me give it. Post message. Registration. One. The body we have So what is this? Whatever the data you want to post it to the server, that you are putting in the body, and this is your request. If it is a post method, it is going to have head and body. Whatever the data you want to send it to the server, the data will be in which place? Body part of the message. Whatever the data you want to send it to the server, the data will be in the body part. So when you go for a post method, we have a body as well as header. The data what you want to send should be in the body. Are you clear? In the request method, whatever the data I want to send, in the request method, whatever the data I want to send, the data has to be passed in URL. The data has to be passed in URL. But whereas in this case, the data will be kept in the body part of the message. Are you clear? People are clear? Then let's see the next one. So I hope you got the difference between get and a post. When you go for get, when you go for post. Let's go to the next one. Now we have next request. What is the next request? I don't have save. I have now. So they want to update the data. They told boss, click on update. Now what you are trying to do? You are trying to replace the data in the server. Already there is a data in the server which you are trying to replace. Which you are trying to replace. The Divya's data, the student whose hall ticket number is 005, the student data has to be updated with the Divya K45. So what you are trying to do? You are trying to replace the data which is in the server. Then we are going to use put. Put is for what? Replace the data. Put is for what? Replace the data. Generally, even this operation is also done using post only. Even if we have put also, but we generally go with what? Generally go with what? Post only. Post can do both the things. Post can do, but as to specify, I am saying put. But 99% we use post only. 99% we use post. But the core theme of the put is what? Replace the content of the data. Replace the content of the data in the server. If you want to replace the document or resource in the server, then we go for a method called put. Put is the method which is used to replace the content of the server. I hope you are clear. So when you go for a put method, what we are going to have? Again, header, body. Both will be there. Header as well as body. Then we have next. Delete. Delete. When you say delete, what should happen, boss? You are trying to delete the record. Delete the student whose hall ticket number is 005. Then you are trying to remove the resource from the server. If you are trying to remove the resource from the server, what we do? Delete operation. I hope you got my points here. People are clear? So basic structure, basic frequently used operation. Get method, post method, put method, delete method, trace, header, like this the regular methods are there. So that is indicated by what? What type of method is that? Is it a get, post, put, delete or header? When you say header, it makes a request, response will come. In the response there will be no body. Only response header will come. When you say header, request will go. But response only header will come. We don't want the response body, we want the response header. Suppose I am sending a request to you, I want to know the size of the file you are sending to me. Before I take the data, I want to know the size of the file you are sending to me. Then what I will take? Only header of the response. Okay. To which URL you are sending a request? What is the type of the method? Then how do you send the data? What is the body of the request? And what are the header elements? What is the header elements? So what are the things that we have, boss? What is the endpoint URL? What type of method is this? What is the body? What is the header? To support this, Salesforce has provided set endpoint URL. Only endpoint. Okay. Set endpoint. Set the URL. Similarly, what type of method? Set method. Post or get or what type of method? Body. Set body. Then header. Now, your session timeout, set timeout. Like this, predefined methods are there. As to support your operation, Salesforce has provided some predefined methods. What are they? Set endpoint, set method, set body, set header, set timeout. Like this, the predefined methods are there. Let me show you those methods. HTTP request. Let us look at all the methods what we have. I hope you got the idea about what we are trying to discuss, right? Now, look at the methods what we have. So first, all the get methods are there. This is they will be useful to you while you are testing the HTTP request. While writing a test classes, get methods will be useful. Otherwise, it's okay. Then we are going to use only what? Set. We are going to use what? Set. Get methods will be useful while writing a test classes for web services. Right now, set body. Setting the body. Sometimes if you want to send a document, then what will you do? What? I want to send an encrypted file. Encrypted file is always going to be binary format. If you want to send any data which is in binary, set the body as log. Then, if you want to send any documents, what is the document? Your XML file. Suppose you want to send XML format of request, your request body, the body will contain the message in the form of XML. Then what I will do? Set the body document. Suppose if it is a certificate-based authentication, set the client certificate name. Set the client certificate name. Set the client certificate and certificate name. The certificate format is not working now. Everybody knows, nobody is using it. Only certificate name they are using. The certificate, client certificate is the old pattern. The old style of authentication is set client certificate. But nowadays nobody is using. Everyone is using what? Set client certificate name. Then set compressed. When is it set compressed? While you are sending your data, it should be encrypted and sent. So that nobody can have the good data. If I send Satish, they will be sending like ABC XYZ. So what is it? Satish is encrypted in the form of some ABC XYZ and send. So that somebody has that, you get the message of ABC XYZ. You will not get the message of Satish. Do you want the system to be compressed? The data to be compressed? Then you say set compressed. Encrypt the data and send. Set compressed means, do you want me to encrypt the data and send it? Just send it. Then set endpoint, set header, set method, set timeout, get the request in the form of string. Now look at the points. Any method you have not followed, set body, setting the body of the request. Set body as block, setting the body as a binary format. Set the body document, setting the body of the request as a XML file. Then set client certificate name, certificate and the password. That is the old pattern nobody is using. Set a client certificate name, pass the name of the certificate. Then set compressed. Do you want to encrypt and send the data? Yes. Set endpoint. What is the URI of your request? Set header. What are the header elements? Accept, content type, language, accept encoding, accept. All these are what? Header elements. Authorization. Then set method. What type of method? Set a timeout. For how long? I will discuss that point called timeout. To string. Convert everything in the form of string. I hope you are clear. People are clear? Methods are clear for everyone? Right. While you use it, you know the core theme of it. There is a concept called set timeout. Again, there is one wrong myth from the people. One more wrong myth. There is a timeout. Is one of the wrong myth that everyone has. Most of the people has. Let me give you. I told. This is my client. this. Okay, chalo. I will make it complete set. Is a client. I told time mode 30 seconds. What does it mean? Time mode 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, one communication will happen. When a communication means it may be request side or response side. Within 30 seconds, one communication will happen. Any one person has to send a request. Any one person has to send a response. Communication should happen within 30 seconds. That means I made a request. When you made a request, he gave a response. The response he gave within 5 seconds. Within 5 seconds he gave. Then again, within 27 seconds he sent a response. So he has to send back the reply within 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, if you don't give the reply, connection will be lost. So anyway, either this side or this side, any one communication should happen within 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, if one communication will not happen, automatically what happened? The connection will be lost. Either client sending a request within 30 seconds or server sending a response within 30 seconds. Within that 30 seconds, one communication should happen. One message should exchange between the both the system. There may be a response message or request message. So time mode means within the given time, one request has to happen. One message has to be sent. Request message or response message. Any one has to be sent. If it is not happening within 30 seconds, the connection is going to be lost. Then the connection is going to be lost. Or you remember what? 30 seconds means it's a time within which I have to get any one message. So I got like this. Look at the point. I sent a request. I didn't get any receive any message. I send a request. Again after 20 seconds I send one more request. Again after 20 seconds again I send one more request. Again after 20 seconds I am sending one more request. So is the connection still alive? Yes, connection is alive because within 30 seconds communication is happening. Right? So response I will not be receiving a response, but one message is transferred, right? So it is time out. Within the given time one request has to go or response has to come. Are you clear about this point here? Am I clear with this? Chalo. Then let us understand the other format of the body. What is the other format? Response. Now what is the response class and how the things will happen in the response. So look at the other class, response class. Look at the methods what we have in the response. In the response, what I am going to get boss. When you go to the response, in the response everything is going to be get. I am going to use set methods in test classes. In the request, set is for regular operation, get is for test classes I am going to use. Now in this, get is for regular operation, set is for testing. Okay. Now what are the things that we are going to get here? Get the body. What is the get the body? Get the body of the response. Get the body as block. Get the response body as a binary format. Get the body document. Get the body of the document in the form of doc. Get header elements. Get the header keys. Get the status message, status code. Get the XML stream reader. Get all these are what? Regular. So everything is clear. Get body as block. Get body document. Get header keys. All the keys of the header. Get the status code, XML streamer. There is one more PD point class called XML stream reader. The object will be clear. Alright, Amma. These methods are clear. The basic methods are clear. Request methods and response methods. Request message and response method. I hope I am clear with this. Clear for everyone? Right. Let us take some 5 minutes break and come back. I will go with the examples. So we have seen basic format of your request. Try this. I am trying to make a request. But let me demonstrate how it is working. I got an URL. Now URL, then code. Is it based on the pin code or based on the... So we are giving question mark right here. Let us take this. If I give Hyderabad, pin code of Hyderabad, if it is not free of cost, they made it commercial, right? Pin code Silo. I give my pin code. When I give my pin code, no such type of records found. So pin code equal to let us check out one service here first. Okay, let us take this example. We have some currency layer. It is going to take, if I give a rupee, it is going to tell me how many dollars. If I give dollar, it is going to tell me how many rupees. So I am going to make a request to this third party system, find out what is the price of $1. $1 equal how many rupees. I am making a request to this. Right. So here I am giving USD INR. $1 equal to how many rupees? If I make a request, they give me the response. 1 rupee equal to 64. $1 equal to 64.29 rupees. So if I make a request to this third party system, they are going to convert a dollar into rupees and give me. Once I got the data, once I got 1 rupee equal, okay, $1 equal how many rupees? I am going to use the data and save the data in the object. So what was this? What format of response we are getting here? Is it XML or JSON? It is a JSON format. So look at the format. I am going to create one object in this my database. Setup. I am going to create one object. New custom object. Product info. Product name, price, so I am going to give the price in the dollars, which should be converted into INR. I got here text. Price in INR. So whatever the price they have given, convert that price into INR and save it. Right. So what was my requirement? If anybody create a new product, when a new product is created, he is going to enter the data. Let us say Dell 500. When I save it, the price is coming in which format? Dollar format. Now convert the dollars into rupees and represent the same price in the Indian rupees. This is my requirement. But what is the $1 equal to how many rupees? I am not sure. So that is the reason whenever a new record is created, I want to make a web service call to the third party system, and the third party system will make a web. Okay, the third party system will convert dollar equal to rupees, then take that rupees, convert the dollar into rupees and display. Are you getting my point? Find out $1 equal to how many rupees. How do you get that value? Make a request to the third party system. When you make a request to the third party system, it is going to give you 1 rupee equal to how many dollars? Then number of dollars into number of rupees, we are going to get the INR price. This is what my requirement is. So how do we achieve this requirement? How will you achieve this requirement? I hope my requirement is clear. I am going to enter the price in the dollar format, which you need to convert into INR and display. Now $1 equal to how many INRs? $1 equal to how many rupees? You have to find out from the third party system. You have to find out from the third party system. How do you find out? Let us see this. Now, when this web service should be called? Whenever a new recording is created. Whenever I make a call to the third party system. When the third party system call has to happen? Whenever a new product is created, then web service call should go to third party system. Whenever a new product is created, make a web service call to third party system. In that case, I have to create what? Trigger on the object. Create a trigger on the product. When you make a trigger, then next. Here, how do you make a request? HTTP new HTTP. You have to make a request. HTTP request equal to new HTTP. We are making a request object. When you want to make a request, what I have to do? Set endpoint. Give the URL of the server to which you want to make a request. What is the URL of the server? String URL. Make the request. So here, access key equal to access key. Then we have URL equal to URL plus rupees. Why are you following this format? Because the documentation has given me this is the format in which you have to make a request. The documentation has told me, boss, if you want to make a request to this third party system, this is a format in which you have to make a request. So what is this? This is the endpoint URL to which I am making a request. Set endpoint URL equal to URL. Now is it a get method or a post method? Why? You are passing the parameters in what? You are passing the parameters in what? URL. You are passing the parameters in URL, so it is a get method. Request dot set. What type of method is this? Make a method equal to get method. Right. So you know the endpoint, you know the method. So how do you make a request? HTTP response equal to p dot send what is the purpose of the HTTP class? It has only one method. What is that? Send request get response. What is the purpose of send method? Send a request object, you are going to get a response object. Now this is my request. First of all, let's get to the point. If you make a request, what is the format in which we are getting a response? This is the JSON format. In the JSON format, what is the value we require? USD INR. We need to take the value of USD INR. So, if they are sending the response to you in the form of JSON, how do you deserialize? System.json parser JB create parser. Then which one you have to parse? Response what I received I have to parse it. What is the response we are receiving? String JSON body equal to response dot. From the response, whatever the body we received, That body we are setting. To make it understandable, I am giving one more time. Listen to the format clearly. First, I am making HTTP P. What is the purpose of HTTP? This class contains send method, which send the request object and receive. Okay. Then we are trying to create a request object. Create HTTP request object. Create HTTP request object. So how do you create a request object? HTTP request new HTTP. Then you want to send a URL. What is the URL we have? Endpoint equal to, what is the endpoint that we got? They have given the URL here. What is the URL? They give the URL. They told make a request to this URL. Live. Live is a complete URL what I received. It's the endpoint URL what I get. Okay. Then, how do you set the value? Request dot set endpoint. What type of method is this? Request dot set method. What type of method is this? Get method. Then, how do you send the request? How do you send the request? P dot send. When you send the request, what we are going to get? Response. Response. So once again, cross check the endpoint. Okay. Then we are going to get a response. Response is where? In the response we have a body. How do you get the body of the response? String JSON body equal to response dot get the body of the response. Body of the response is in which format? JSON format. We need to parse it. How do you parse it? System dot JSON parser JP equal to JSON dot create. Now how do you parse? While JP dot next token is not equal to, while next token is not equal to null, check it. If JP dot get text, which value I want? I want the, look at the point, which value I want? I want this USD INR. If JP dot text equal to USD INR, yes, then the value will be next to this. If the text is USD INR, where is my value? Next to the INR I will have value. So JP dot next token. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have dollar equal to decimal dot JP dot get as decimal value. So whatever the value was there, that is received in the form of decimal. So what is that? Send a request to them. I got a response. Whatever the response is there, the response I converted into JSON. The response is in the form of JSON. Whatever the JSON we received, I parsed the JSON, then I took the data. That is the reason why we have learned JSON first. Because the response is going to come in the form of what? JSON. The response is going to come in the form of what? JSON. Right. Till here I have done. First of all, I want to know, can we call the web services from the trigger or not? So let us try this. We are writing a code from here. But the first question is, can you make a call to the web services from a trigger? No, you cannot make a call to the web services from the trigger. Triggers will not support synchronous web services. Let us see this. Before I do that, what is the endpoint URL? Any third-party system to which you are making a request, that system should be registered as remote site settings. Any third-party system to which you are communicating, that system should be registered as remote site setting. So go with this, remote site settings, new. Okay. Now go back to the system, insert a new record in the product, new product. Same record I am creating. Find it, see. When it is saved, it is throwing an error message. What is that? System.callout exception. Callouts from the triggers are not supported. That means from trigger, you are not supposed to make a web service call, which is a synchronous. Then how will you achieve it? This requirement should be done. When a new record is created. But it says from trigger you cannot call a web services. Then what is the solution that we have? Come again? What is the solution? From class also if you define, the class is also within the trigger only, right? Even then it will fail. So what is that? You have to go for future. That is the usage of your future method. So at the rate of static void, I am writing a future method. But if you are writing a future method, I am trying to write my logic in the future method. I wrote the logic in the future method. So can I call a web service from the future method? Right? Can you call? If you want to call a web service from the future method, what should I do? Callout equal to, I have to give callouts equal to 2. If you want to make a web service call from a trigger, it is not possible. So I am defining a future method at the rate of future, callout equal to 2. First of all, let us test till here. Is the things are working fine or not? Debug. I will test till here. So how do you test it? Go to debug. I am calling a future method. Let me check out. Method is not visible. Let me make it execute. Then you are making a future call. Now let us see whether we are getting the proper response or not. Let us wait for this. How do you know whether future method is running properly or not? Go to this, jobs, fx jobs, future, completed. Yes, future method is working perfectly. Okay, that means there is nothing wrong with the future method. Okay. Now the future method can be called within a, can we call a future method within a trigger? Yes, future method can be called within a trigger. So I am calling here future. Okay, very good. Now the point is, the new record which I am inserting, the record should be updated, right? But how do you pass the new record to the future method? Future method is not going to support S object, right? Future method will not take S object as a parameter. The new record what you created, that record should be updated. The record value should be updated. But I cannot pass S object. The future method will not support S objects. Then what should I do? I have to pass. Instead of passing the record ID, instead of passing the records, I have to pass record IDs. I cannot pass a record. Future will not support S object. I cannot pass a record. What is the alternative? It only accepts primitive data types. If it is only accepting a primitive data types, so what I'm doing, set of ID is equal to trigger dot new map dot tset. But in the before insert, we have trigger dot new map. Why you don't have trigger dot new map in the before insert? Unless the record ID is there, we will not get a new map. So record ID should be there. So when do I get record ID? That is the reason I have taken after insert. Now in the after insert, I am passing keys. So what you are doing in the future? Set of. Then I have to take here list of product info. Select ID comma price. Then what is the other variable? Did the people get my points? I was trying to call a web service, but I have some difficulties there. From where ID in keys. Fetch all the products where ID is in the keys. So what are those keys? The list of records which are inserted, those records I am getting. The list of new records which are inserted right now, those I am fetching. Then what should I do? For then p dot so p1 dot price in INR equal to dollar into then update. Did you get my concept? So what I have done here, I have taken every record that you have inserted, then dollar into price, dollar into $1 equal how many rupees? Rupees into number of dollars. We are getting that value which I am updating back to database. So what I am doing in the trigger, first question, why only after insert? Why only after insert trigger? Future method will not accept S object as parameter. Future method will not accept S object as a parameter. As a alternative, as a workaround, process instead of S object we are passing, we can pass record ID. Record ID will be created. Record ID will be created only when record is saved to S object. Okay. Subject. That's why we are taking. We are going with after insert. Right. Am I clear? The first point. Next. Why call out equal to true. Whenever we want to call the callouts from feature method, we have to define at the rate of callout. So why should you go for a feature method? Why should you go for a feature method? This is the second question. This is the first question. Second question. Why feature method in trigger? Why feature method in trigger? Why should I go for a feature method in trigger? Triggers will not support. Triggers will not support synchronous. Now, triggers will not support. Why triggers will not support? You simply say, why did you use a feature method? You say, it is not supporting, so I wrote a feature method. Fine. Why they are not supporting? Maximum response from for a trigger, the call is 120 seconds. 120 seconds means 2 minutes. 120 seconds means 2 minutes. If you say 2 minutes, what happens? You made a trigger. Until the trigger is completed, rest of the operation will not be done. When the triggers are completed, then only record will be committed. Am I right? What is the order of the trigger? Validation, before trigger, validation, save, not committed. Save, record is saved, after trigger, then workflows, after trigger is completed. When after trigger is completed, then assignment rules, auto response rules, workflows, field update, roll-up summaries, sharing rules, then record is committed. That means these all operations are pending. These all operations are pending. When all these operations are completed, then only record is saved. Record is committed. Now, if it takes 30 seconds, do you think 30 seconds is small time? For a transaction, 30 seconds is a very huge time. It's a very long delayed operation. 30 seconds is a very delayed operation. So, if you are waiting for 30 seconds or 1 minute, the entire operation is on hold. There is a reason. In triggers, you cannot go with synchronous web service. If you want to run the web service, run them separately from trigger. If you run the web service from the trigger, if it is trigger, web service call will go to server. I cannot expect within how much time the response will come back. Okay, what I can do is after maximum time I can fit. After maximum time I can fit, but I cannot expect within how much time the response will come back. So if you give maximum time as 30 seconds, I have to be in hold for 30 seconds. When you are making a request to third party may send the response within a fraction of seconds, within a milliseconds, or within a minute, within a 2 minutes. If you cross 2 minutes, the operation will stop, the rest of the operation will continue. But still, I am in the waiting process. The rest of the process in the waiting state. As the trigger is not committed, as the record is not yet committed, the rest of all the operations are in the processing state. There is a reason we don't want to delay the operation. There is a reason why trigger is not going to support the synchronous web services. If you run them like asynchronous, trigger is independent, web service is independent. You do whatever the time. Whenever you want, you do it. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do with you. You take your own time and complete. I will complete my own operation. Trigger data will be saved and committed. Later on, if you want, you can run it. Are you getting my point? Right? So, if you run like a synchronous, then the operation has to be in hold state. There is a reason they don't support the synchronous web services. I hope you are clear. Now you will find that you will find the output. When you look at the output, you get that what exactly I explained. Look at this. I'm inserting iPhone some $70. Save. When I saved, record is saved, but web service is it updated? It is not updated, right? Let me refresh. Is it updated? So what happened? Trigger and is executed separately, web service has executed separately. First the trigger completed. Then later on when the web service is completed, record is updated. So what happened? Trigger is running independently, web service is running independently. Are you getting my point? So trigger already completed. Trigger already completed, the web service is not completed. As it is running independently, whenever the operation is completed, it can update the data back. I'll show one more example. New record. Salesforce, $200. When I saved, what happened? Trigger completed? Trigger completed? Yes. Is the web service completed? No. Let me refresh. Right? Now the web service operation is modified. So both of them are running what? Independently. As both of them are running independently, trigger need not wait till the web service is completed. It can commit its data. Trigger need not wait until the trigger is web service is completed. It can commit the data, wait for it can commit the data, and later on the web service can complete and come back and update. Are you getting my point? There is a reason why trigger supports only asynchronous operation, so that both of them can run independently. There is a reason we are using asynchronous operations within a trigger. So one example, what is that? Making a web service call from trigger. So what are the points that are involved? Tell me. First of all, can I call web service from a trigger? No, you cannot call. Why? Synchronous web services are not supported in the trigger. Right. Then how will you achieve? Invoke the web services in the feature method. Fine. If you want to invoke a web service in the feature method, how do you define? @future equal to @future call out equal to true. Right. If you want to call it future method within a trigger, what is the drawback? How to pass the trigger records into future method? Future will not accept a list of S object, but I need to pass the list of records from the trigger to the future. Then what I can do? I can pass the list of record ID. Suppose if it is a before insert, now I made after insert. If it is a before insert, list of IDs are not there, then what is the solution? Then we can use JSON. We can use what? JSON. Use the JSON, convert the list of record into string, pass the string value to the future. In the future, what you can do? Deserialize the JSON, get the list of account records, write a query, get the data. So other alternative is what? Other alternative is what? JSON. But it is complex. Why to make complex? It will be better for me to go with the after. As if I am running a asynchronous operation, doesn't make a difference for me if it is a before or after. As I am running a asynchronously, doesn't make a difference for me whether I am going to run before or after, because I am going to run independently for me. Because I am a asynchronous operation, doesn't make a difference even if I run before or after, because I am going to execute independently from you. Right? So that is how we have implemented this concept. People are clear with this? People are clear with this? Okay. Then we have done this one. Now what happened? I have the same program, same concept. But there are already 10,000 records in the database. All those 10,000 records, pin code numbers I want to update. Now, customer have entered all the details like state, cities, okay, seat, street, everything they entered. But I don't have any field called zip code field. Previously, when I created my data model, I don't have a field called zip code. Later on, I introduced a field called zip code. When I introduced a field called zip code, now I cannot ask every customer to re-enter the zip code. So what I have done? I have written one web service program which will make a call to third party. Based on the place, it will find out the zip code and update your database. If it is one record, I can do like this. But there are 1 lakh records. Now how do you update that 1 lakh records? Now there are 1 lakh customer data which is available in my database. When my data was there, I don't have any field called zip code. Later on, according to my business requirement, I created a custom field called zip code. Now the zip code value should be updated. Then what is the solution that I have? I am running a web service to get the zip code, but I can update for a single record. But I have 1 lakh records. One by one record, I cannot do manually. So what is the solution I have? Batch-based. I have to write a batch-based, write a web service call in the batch-based. For every record, make a web service call, get the data, update the data. As there are 1 lakh records, I am going for batch-based. Now, where should you write the web service? Web service should be written within the batch-based. Now, the question is, how do you write a batch? Okay. How do you write a web services in the batch-based? Now, this is a web service from a trigger. Simple HttpRequest we make. Simple HTTP request. Made a request to third party gave me a data which I uploaded. Now what I am doing? I am making a request to third party, it is getting the data, I have to upload to record. But like this, there are 1 lakh records. When there are 1 lakh records, how do you update it? Then I have to go for batch mix. Why batch mix? Governing limits. You cannot update more than 10,000 records within a transaction. More than 10,000 records cannot be updated within a transaction. If you want to update more than 10,000 records, what is the alternative? We have asynchronous operation. What is that asynchronous operation? Batch mix. So, if you want to update 1 lakh records at a time, batch mix. But my data is, I am not giving data directly. My data has to be fetched from third party. Every record, one web service call to third party, get the data, update it. So, how do you make a web service call from the batch mix to the third party system? This is the second question. Right? So, let us first implement basic web service, how to get the zip code. How to get the zip code. So, let me take one open API. I hope you got these points here. Everyone is comfortable with this? When you say you are writing, you also should know why others are failing. It's not a right point that we are implementing a web service. Why you are not able to achieve with other system? That's very important. So let me give you postal code, right? Postal API. So let us see postal code. There will be API, open API, zip code API. Let us type out. Join overflow committee. Let us take any one of the open API. So there is an API called postal department something. Let me check it out. We cannot make it. As we cannot make a synchronous call, that is the reason we are going for asynchronous. Synchronous is not supported, that is the reason why we went to asynchronous. Right, so we have some API here. So what is the API they gave? Right, so we have the code here. I'm giving Ameripay. If I give Ameripay, we are getting postal code here. Message, post office, one status, post office, Ameripay. Pin code is some pin code value we are getting. Chalo. So we are getting a pin code value. What is the URI we have? This is the URI. This is the URI what we have. If we are giving a city name, it is giving you postal code, zip code is giving. So let us try out this example first. Let us implement this example. Whether we are getting the value properly or not, then I will append this example with the batch mix. The first example I will try it out. Postal. So how do you make a web service call? Public void call me. If you want to make a web service call, it should be HTTP p equal to new HTTP request then we have request dot set endpoint. Here what I'm doing, public string. Okay, let us take a straight away. Let us take a straight away value. What the URL we got? It's only testing purpose. Let me give the same value. This is only test call. We are giving. Then what type of method is this? It is a requesting the data. What type of method is this? So when you get the method, we have to send the request. If we send a request, what type of response we are going to get? HTTP response p dot send. When you send a request, we are going to get a response. So we are going to get a body. What type of body we have? String JSON body equal to response dot. We got the body. Why I have taken JSON response? Because if you look at this, my response is coming in which format? JSON format. What is the value we have to take? Pin code. We have to take the value of pin code. So what I'm doing? System dot JSON. JSON dot create. Then what I'm doing? I have to take one by one element. JP dot next token. If next token is not equal to null. If next token is not equal to null, if JP dot get text is the current token equal to pin code, then where is the value? My next value. Then I'm taking JP dot next token. We have code equal to. I'm trying to print the value. System dot debug. So I just made a code to send the data, retrieve the data, parse the data. Now we'll try out this example. Before I try this example, what should I do? Whatever the third party system is there, that should be registered with what? Remote site setting. Go to setup, security controllers. Then we got remote site settings, new remote site setting. Right, we are done with that. Then I want to test this whether it's working properly or not. DG dot. I'm just calling this. When you call this, what is the value we are getting? So my parsing is working fine. We made a request to them. I am getting a data. My parsing is working fine. Okay. Now this is a simple web service call I made, but our practical usage will not be like this. My practical usage should be invoking a web service from a feature method, invoking a method from a triggers, invoking a method from a batch apex or a schedule apex. Most of the time, my web services will be running from apex class, from a Visualforce invocation, or future batch schedule. Now, I gave you an example. What is the previous example I gave? Let us take this example. I have setup, build. I am creating my own example, one custom object I am creating. Employee. Employee name. Then employee base. Employee name, employee base. Then I have zip code. This is how I created. So go to the tab creation, create a tab, new tab. Once I created this, go to the page layout, add the fields to the page layout. So I have some sample data here. Right. Some records are there, like this 1 million records are there. Now, all the 1 million records should be updated at a time. All the postal code of that 1 million records should be updated at a time. So how I am achieving this? I am achieving this by using batch mix. How you are writing a batch mix? Employee global class implements database dot batch. Then I am giving global database dot query locator database dot batchable context. Batchable context. Then I am giving return get query locator, select ID, place, get all the employee records. Then you're trying to global void execute database dot batchable context. Then what should I do? I will take one by one record for employee E. For every employee record, I have to make a web service call. So what should I do? Copy this code. The same web service code. For every record, the code has to go. This code has to run for every record. But every record has the same place. Every record doesn't have the same place. What should I do? The page name should be modified. So what I'm doing? Instead of Ameripage here, plus E dot, I give E dot place. At the end I'm adding E dot place. Whichever the employer place is there, that place will go. So I have given this for loop. Right. So once you got this, what should I do now? E dot zip code equal to, people have got this point. The same web service code what I wrote. In that I wrote Ameripage. Instead of Ameripage, what I have done? I give dynamic value. So based on first employee, place is passed. We got the data. Second employee, place, got the data. Third employee, fourth employee. So whatever the code I received, that I kept a zip code. Then what should I do now? Update. Then go to finish method. batchable context. If you want to send an email, you can write a code for sending an email. Now the problem is, we have a problem here. What is the problem? Can I call a web service? Can I call a web service? Can I call a web service? Can I call a web service from it? Can we call it web services? Can we call it web services? Can we call a web service from the batchbox? Can we call a web service from the batchbox? Right? So if you want to write so what was the line? What is that? Global class employee batch implements database dot batchable as object. Line number 5, global void execute database dot batchable employee underscore C. Okay. Line number 2, what is that? Global database dot query locator, database dot query locator. Okay. Then next, for employee C. Okay. Next, fine. People have practiced very well. They are able to debug all the programs. Right. So we are able to make it. Now we want to execute this program. We want to execute this program and see. Can we call web services from the batchbox? Boss, you cannot directly call a web services. If you want to call, we require an interface. Batchbox has to implement an interface to call a web services. Let us see. Database dot execute batch. I'm giving the size equal to. Size has to be mentioned because you cannot make more than 100 web services within a transaction. Within one method, more than 100 web services cannot be called. Maximum number of web services within every transaction is only 100. So if you give batch size equal to 200, how many web services are going? 200 web services. So it will not work. So the size should be less than 100. You have to give size anything less than 100. So job is executed. Go back and check the status. How do you check the status? Setup, jobs, Apex jobs, failed. Why failed? Too many callouts. How many callouts I give? One callout only. It is giving what? Too many callouts, one. Why? Because it is not allowing you to make a web service callout from the batchbox. So if you want to call a web services from the batchbox, what should I do? So batchbox cannot be called. Batchbox cannot call the web services directly. If you want to call, it has to give database dot what is the interface? Database dot allows callout. Database dot allows callout. Same program I am making. I am not making any change. Only one extra line I added. Run it. Go back to the batch. So if you want to call web services from the batchbox, what should I do? Database dot allows callout. If you want to call a batchbox web services from the batchbox, what should I do? Still, probably SR Nagar value is not retrieved. Let us take another value. Kiran, SR Nagar, no. Let us check it out. Run it again. We have to study the API much better to get the proper response. Go back to the record, check out what we got here. So previously, why the record is not successful? Probably on SR Nagar, the value of pin code may be multiple values. If you got multiple values, then that may be failed. So we are not studying the API thoroughly. We just took the API straight away. Because we took the API straight away, we got the data. Right, boss? So if the pin code is updated, so what we have done? Using a batchbox, you are calling a web service call to third party. We are getting a response which is getting updated. So can we call the web services from batchbox? Yes. How do you call? By implementing database.allows callout. So what are examples we have done? Very basic level of example. HTTP call only. We are making what? Basic HTTP call only. What is the format you have taken? What is the endpoint URL? What is the method name? Send a request, getting a response. The response is coming in the form of JSON. We serialize the JSON, we deserialize the JSON, and we have used the data. I hope I am clear. People have followed this example. Everyone is clear with this? Clear for everyone? Okay. Let's go to the next part of the story. All the examples, whatever we have done, all of them are what? JSON response only. Let us do one example which is giving you XML response. Let us do one example which is giving you XML response. We want to make a call to third-party system, and the third-party system is giving you response on the XML format. When you get the response in the form of XML, I want to deserialize the data and use it. So let us do this example. The next example is making a web service call to third party, which is giving you the response in the form of XML. So the similar category of example I give you on your hard copy. So look at this. When you are entering the IP address, if you enter your IP address and click on your submitter, it has to give you complete details about your IP address. You are from which code, what is the host number, what is the IP address, what is the internet service provider number, latitude, longitude, organization, queries, region, everything should be tracked. Based on your IP address, track your longitude, latitude. Based on the IP address what I give, you are getting what? Longitude and latitude. If you give your system IP address, based on that track your longitude, latitude, and I want to update this data to my database. If based on your IP address, based on the IP address of your system, I want to find out your longitude, latitude, and update the data. This is my requirement. So to do this, we have a third-party system. What is a third-party system we have? Let us take the URL. What is the URL? Right. This is the URL what we have. So how do you find out your system IP address, boss? How do you find out your system IP address? From the Salesforce, how do you find out your system IP address? From the system, how do you find out your IP address? Go to the login history. Integration, you logged in from which IP address? This is the IP address from where I logged in. So we are getting the same error. You use single quotes. Okay. Let me give you notepad. Let me copy. So go back to the. So based on whatever the IP address we give, it is giving you this IP address. Airtel is your service provider. Hyderabad, India, longitude. Right. We are getting the data. In what format the response is coming actually? XML format. The response is coming in the form of XML. Now we have done from the trigger. We have done from the batch mix. Let us do the web service call from the Visual Force and Apex class. Now let us take one more example where I will create a Visual Force page with Apex class. When you click a button on the Visual Force page, web service call should go to third-party system, retrieve the data. This is my requirement. So let us achieve this example. So everybody has followed this HTTP request. People are clear? Everyone has followed? People who are sleeping. Right. Let's go with the next step. So let us go to the next format, public string IP address. So how do you write the web service call? Public void call me. So what is the first parameter we have to define? If you want to define the web service using HTTP, new HTTP. So we are taking HTTP request equal to HTTP. Then we are taking request dot set endpoint. What is the endpoint that we received? So these are open IP addresses which have searched in the Google for these IP addresses. So if you want to try with any third party, you can try it. These are open IP address, everybody can use it. So IP address. When you set what is the type of request is this? If you are passing the parameters in the URL, whether is what? Whether is get. Then we are going to get response HTTP response p dot send. Then we are going to get a response. So I am going to give. We are not sure what type of response we are getting. So let us see. Public string. Response dot get the body of the response. A simple web service call. Now let us create a VF page. Text value equal to I'm giving a button here, command button, value equal to action equal to a regular call. Then we are going to get a response. That response I am going to create in the page block title. I'm going to create page block section. The page block section, I am giving output label value equal to right. So we are giving value equal result. So when this page block section should be displayed, when the page block should be displayed, rendered. When the result is not equal to null, render this. Then you have a preview. But when you are trying to make a web service call to third-party system, did it register the address? The server address is not registered as a remote site setting. So go to third-party security controllers, remote site settings, new remote site setting. Chalo, we are done with this. Go back. IP address. What is my IP address? Because first we are finding out what type of response I am getting. So what type of response I got here? XML. When you got the XML result, I want to parse it. Now you know that you got a response of XML. Now you want to parse it. When you want to parse this XML result, first understand the structure of the result. Root element is result, child element is result. Under the result we have so root element, the child of root. Under that we have elements. All my elements are available under the result. Where is the result? Result is available under the results. So we need to parse it. Tell me how do you parse it? If you want to parse it, dom dot document dot equal to new dom dot right. So whatever the thing I received, I have to pass it here. Result dot whatever the result I got, I am passing here. Here I am putting map string comma string new map of, because I am going to put everything on the map so that I can display the things easily. So how do you parse it now? How do you parse it? DOM document doc load. Now I want to pass DOM dot XML node root equal to doc dot get root element. Once you got the root element, then get the chains. How do you get the chains? List of DOM dot XML node equal to root dot get. Why we are not getting this document? Is it right here? Let me cross check one more time. DOM dot document equal to DOM dot document. Then doc dot load. Then DOM dot XML node root equal to doc dot get root element. Once you got the root element, I want to get the corresponding child elements. So how do you get the child elements? List of DOM dot get child elements. Get child elements. Now once you got the child elements, there will be only one child element. What is the result? The result child elements we need to get. List of DOM dot XML node result childs equal to childs of 0 dot so what was this? When you say root dot get child, result we are going to get. The result is going to be at 0 position. Childs of 0 dot get childs. Now take one by one element. DOM dot XML node. Then we need to get name. So what is the value that we have? What is the name of the map? Result map dot put n dot get. What are the values that we have? Get name. Are you getting my point? We are using XML node class. In XML node class, what are the methods we have? We have XML node class. In XML node class, what are the methods we have? We don't want add. We are trying to get. What are the elements that we have? Get chain elements. Get chain elements. Once you got the list of chain elements are there. In the chain elements, what we are going to get? Get name. Get text. Get name is going to give name of the element. Get text is going to give text for the node. Get name is going to give the name of the node. Text is going to give value of the node. So all the values I have put in the form of map. Map dot put name of the node and value of the node. Get name, get node. Is that was clear? So what did I do, boss? Whatever the result we got, we loaded to this one. Then what is the first element? My root element is results. Under the results, I told get chain elements. What are the chain elements we have? Only one element is there. What is the one element? Root element is results. Under the results, how many chain elements are there? Only one chain. That is the reason I use zero position. 0 dot get chain elements. When you say get chain elements, what are the elements we are going to get? IP, host, org, region, country, all this. This is get name. This is get text. Get name, get text. Get name, get text. Now, save the data. Then what should I do? I want to give page block section. Table value equal to, what is the name of the map? Result map. Then in the map, what is the var? A is nothing but the key. Column value equal to in the map, in the page block table, if I give map, A is a key. A is a key. Enter value. What is the enter value we are getting? Open. Then we have column value equal to result map of key. Is a map of key. So A is a key. Result map of A is a value. Go back to the preview. Again, go back and collect the this XML format which I parsed again. Country name, India, host, IP address. When you parse the data, if you want to take the longitude and latitude, update to the record, what we can do? The values are in the map. Now give key equal to longitude, you get the value. Give the key equal to latitude, you get the value. Take the data, upload to database. Take the data, upload to database. Are you clear about this? We have made a request, we got the response in the form of XML. Whatever the response we got in the form of XML, that response we parsed and created the form of map. Is that was clear for everyone? People have followed? So we have seen how to retrieve the JSON response and parse it, how to retrieve the XML response and parse it, how to invoke the triggers with web services, batch effects with the web services. This is what we have seen for the day. Any further queries about this? Anyone has any queries on